This is the ETBU Sportsnet Coaches Show. I'm Kenneth Klein. Today we're talking with head women's basketball coach Edsel Hamilton. Coach, you had a couple of games this past week at Ornelas. Why don't you recap those for us?
I was proud of the way our kids competed. I thought we started Saturday. We actually started the game a lot better than we have in a lot of other games. I think actually both games we started okay, but both teams just shot the lights out on us. And, we were concerned about that, especially with Sol Ross coming into the game. They're a team that shoots a lot of threes. And, they ended up shooting their averages, basically. I think they were averaging 9.7 for 26, and they went 9 for 25 against us. So we were hoping to hold them below their average, but we just kind of couldn't get going offensively. I think we did a much better job of taking care of the ball than we have in a lot of these other games, but they're not really a team that pressures all that much. And we still had some turnovers that were unforced, basically. So that was a little frustrating. And, we got a lot of good looks again and just weren't able to finish them. I thought we shot the ball a little bit better in that game and then a lot better on Saturday. I thought we shot the ball pretty well. But turnovers just killed us in the Howard Payne game, and I was worried about that coming in because they're a team that presses a lot. And, we started the game really well, and we did what we wanted to do with our press break. And then for whatever reason, we just kind of stopped doing it, and that led to little bursts of multiple turnovers in a row, and that's where they kind of got away from us. And I said they shot lights out from three, too. They're a team that shoots probably kind of an average number of threes, and they shot 30 against us and made 12 of them. So we were worried about Sol Ross making a bunch of threes, and Howard Payne's actually the team that came in and hit more threes than Sol Ross did. So, sometimes it's just their night, and they were hitting a lot. I mean, they had a couple kids, again, like our McMurray game that were 0 for coming into the game, and they go 2 for 2 against us, kids that hadn't made any threes all year. So, that's frustrating. But, again, I think there were stretches in the game where we played really well and we controlled the ball. And offensively, I think in the half court, we did a really good job of attacking their defense. I think, I had talked about before the game that we might just need to run a bunch of sets, and maybe that's what we need to do offensively to kind of help settle us down a little bit. But really in that game, we did it early in the game. In the second half, we're getting to the rim a bunch because, creating scramble situations with kind of our motion offense, which is kind of what I was hoping would happen for us throughout the course of the season. So offensively, I think we played a lot better aside from the turnovers. We wanted to keep it under 20, and we had 18 in the first half. So like I said, they all kind of came in little bursts of 4 or 5 in a row, and I only have so many timeouts that I can call to kind of settle everything down. So, but again, I think there were some things that we did that were good. And, at this point in the season, like the best thing that our kids are doing is that they're not quitting, they're fighting, and they're still having, being positive about everything. And that's what I keep telling them is that's all we can do is control what we can control. We can't control how many shots the other team makes. We can't control the calls. We can control how hard we play, and we can control our attitudes about whatever's happening to us on the floor.
This week, you head back on the road to take on Concordia at their place in Austin for one game. Give us your thoughts on what you'll be expecting to see from them.
They're a good team. I think when I look at them, I think they're kind of what I envision for us probably next year. I think because last year, they started the year pretty well last year and then kind of struggled in conference a little bit. But they had a lot of freshmen and sophomores that got big minutes last year, and they were, kind of had some growing pains throughout the year. And now those kids are seasoned a little bit, and they're playing really well. They've got 3 guards that are all scoring between 13 and 15 a game, and all of them are players that were kind of inexperienced last year, and now this year they're experienced, and they're playing really well, and it's really showing. They do have a relatively young team aside from them, but those experienced players are kind of carrying them so far. So I think it'll be a good matchup for us. I think, again, I still believe any game that we play, if we will correct the mistakes that we've been making, I really think we'll have a chance against anybody. So I think it should be a good game. Obviously, there's some distractions with it being the last week before Christmas, and we got to make sure we block all that stuff out. But like I said, Concordia is good. It's going to be tough for us to handle what they do offensively. They run a lot of ball screen stuff and get to the basket a lot. And they got a couple girls who can really shoot, and we're going to have to make sure we limit their looks from the outside, and then, do a good job of taking care of the ball and executing our offense.
Then afterwards, you'll have a couple of weeks off for Christmas break before you have your next couple of games out in Longview for a tournament. So what's the plan as far as the team over Christmas break and how you get them back before the couple of games?
Well, I mean, it's really nice for the kids to be able to get a little bit of time off. That's kind of the bad thing about basketball is that you really don't get holidays very much because it's kind of during most of the major holidays. So obviously we really didn't get Thanksgiving off at all, but the kids will get a good week off. So we'll play on Saturday, and then we'll have a few kids whose parents will come to the game, and we'll let them go home with their parents straight from the game if they want to. We got a couple kids from Austin that are just going to stay down there. So that would be nice for them to be able to be at home for a week, and same thing for me too. I mean, I'm ready for a little bit of a break. I'm probably going to try to do some more recruiting during this time because I haven't really got to do a whole lot during the season. So I'm going to try to catch up on a little bit of that while we're out. And then, me and my wife are going to go down and probably see my family for a few days and try to do something fun by ourselves, maybe go to a concert or something like that just to kind of, get away and take a little bit of a break. It should be fun. We'll have the kids come back the day after Christmas just to make sure they're not traveling on Christmas Day. We'll come back the next day and have an evening practice and get ready for those 2 games over in Longview right before New Year's.
All right, Coach, thanks for talking to us on the ETBU Sportsnet.